Language shapes everything about how we connect globally, but here's something that might surprise you. Studies show that over 80% of online content is in English, even though native English speakers make up less than 20% of internet users.
That statistic really puts things in perspective. I was just reading about how this digital English dominance is reshaping everything from business to entertainment.
Well, you know what's fascinating about that? It's not just about content creation anymore. I've been tracking how English has evolved into this living digital organism that adapts and grows through social media, creating entirely new linguistic patterns.
Hmm. Speaking of patterns, how do you think this affects global business communication?
Let me share something interesting about that. Recent studies show that companies with English as their official corporate language see a 23% increase in international business opportunities. It's become this invisible bridge connecting markets across continents.
That's such an important point about bridges. I recently observed how English serves as this universal translator in tech startups across Asia.
Oh my goodness, yes. And here's what's really mind-blowing. In places like Singapore and India, they're developing their own unique versions of English that blend local expressions with global business terminology. It's like watching language evolution in real time.
Well, that reminds me of something I read about linguistic adaptation. How would you explain the difference between traditional English learning and modern digital English acquisition? Take a moment to think about it.
So here's what's really interesting about that. Traditional learning focused on perfect grammar and pronunciation, right? But modern digital English is all about effective communication. Studies show that people who learn English through social media and online interactions become fluent 40% faster than traditional classroom learners.
The efficiency aspect is fascinating. I've seen similar patterns in international business meetings.
And you know what makes this even more compelling? Research indicates that non-native English speakers now outnumber native speakers by more than 3 to 1 in global business settings. It's completely reshaping how we think about language proficiency.
That shift in perspective must be affecting how people approach language learning, right?
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. The latest data shows that 65% of English learners now prioritize communication skills over grammatical perfection. They're focusing on what I call the bridge building basics, the ability to connect, share ideas, and collaborate effectively.
Well, that's quite different from the traditional academic approach to language learning.
Um, Absolutely different. And here's another surprising fact. Studies show that exposure to informal English through social media can increase vocabulary acquisition by up to 50% compared to traditional methods. It's like this massive unplanned language experiment happening in real time.
The implications for global education must be significant.
You know what's fascinating about that? Universities are reporting a 300% increase in online English learning programs since 2020. But here's the real kicker. Nearly 70% of these programs now incorporate social media and digital communication elements.
So, if we had to summarize the key takeaways from all this research, then
Well, let me break it down into three major points. First, English has evolved beyond just language into a global communication platform. Second, digital English is creating new patterns of learning and connection that are more efficient than traditional methods. And finally, this is crucial. The future of global communication isn't about perfect English, it's about effective English.
that's such a powerful way to frame it. Any final thoughts on where this evolution is heading?
Looking at the trends, we're seeing something remarkable. English is becoming this adaptive, inclusive tool that's breaking down traditional barriers. The data suggests that by 2025, over 2 billion people will be using English as a bridge language in their daily digital interactions. It's not just changing how we communicate, it's revolutionizing how we connect as human beings.
Well, that's certainly given us all something to think about.
Indeed, it has. And remember, everyone, in this new digital landscape, your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to build bridges. Keep connecting, keep learning, and most importantly, keep communicating.